Allow yourself to come to a comfortable upright position. You could choose to use your bolster if you have one of those, a pile of cushions or blankets to support yourself. Or you might choose to use a chair if you have a chair handy and sit upright that way. Kneeling, of course, is comfortable for you. You could do that. Somewhere that you feel connected through your base. That might be your pelvis, your sit bones, or your feet if you're sitting on a chair. And a sense of being earthed through your pelvis and growing through the crown of your head upwards. I'm going to begin with a very short practice using a mudra for those who wish to join in with that. And this is Usha mudra, and it's the gesture of the dawn. Obviously, depending what time of day you're doing this as to whether that's completely appropriate, but you might apply it to the beginning of the day if you choose to. And its core quality is opening to new possibilities. It's a very simple mudra, perhaps one that we adopt sometimes spontaneously. So we take our two hands and we interlace them backwards so that the backs of the fingers are resting, just as if you're going to make a closed book, but the palms are open. I'll move closer to show you. And the right hand is on top, as it were, and they close. So you've got the first right finger on top, and then the thumbs can rest lightly. And it's creating an open-faced bowl with interlaced fingers. Usha mudra. The quality of opening to new possibilities. So if that's comfortable for your hands to maintain, you might let your forearms rest on your thighs or anywhere else that's appropriate for you. And direct your awareness to your breath. Noticing anything about the breath that happens. And the affirmation that goes with this mudra, one of them is, I greet each new day as a mystery, to be lived fully and joyfully. We're setting our intention for the day. So if you were doing this practice in the morning, then it would bring that sense of welcoming new possibilities to your day. It cultivates more positive attitudes to allow us to manifest any possibilities. And it supports us in living in the present with curiosity and a sense of mystery. Invite your breath to be comfortably full, moving wherever it is guided to through this gesture. Aware of any tensions held in the body, and perhaps the possibility of letting them go a little through your mind and through your breath. Perhaps finding a balance on the inhale and the exhale. Or introducing Ujjayi, that huffing breath that allows us to breathe more efficiently without additional effort. So where does my breath go to? Without effort, without force, can I experience the three-dimensionality of my body? that the breath can travel to the front, to the sides, and to the back. That it fills from the bottom through the middle to the top, or from the top through the middle to the bottom. Can I feel a sense of smoothness? Of flow? Flow of energy, the flow of life, flow of blood, flow of lymph, the digestive flow, the eliminatory flow. That we resonate with vibration throughout the whole of our being. And we are here now, in this very moment. And we have what we have. And we are what we are. And we can do what we can do. And when you feel ready, bring your palms together into Anjali Mudra at near your heart center, front of your breastbone. And take a moment to set an intention to work with your body, breath, and mind as they are. To let go of expectations and to enjoy yourself no matter what. As we bow our head to seal that intention, and then we can let our eyes gently open and open our hands, and perhaps give our hands a little wriggle or our wrists a little rotation if that feels good for us. And if we've been kneeling or sitting, we may choose to lean forward gently and stretch our backs out. A little bit of stretch through the back, perhaps a little wriggling and wiggling, remembering that we are fluid and we can flow. We might want to sit up, kneel up, perhaps do a little morning stretching, feeling through the sides of our body, reaching up one way, reaching up the other, or reaching out to the sides, as if we were reaching to the wall. Whatever feels right for you. And some of us might choose to hold our hands behind us and give a little gentle arch to the back. So if it is the morning, you might find your way into some of these movements gently. So when you're ready, you can gently release your legs, give your legs a little shake off, and come up to stand. So we're going to take a gentle movement initially, simply to move the energy around. If you face the long edge of your mat, and you can take your feet a little wider than we might stand in Tadasana, and have that sense of bounce and freedom. We don't want to be stuck, and we're moving as far as our body will move. We'll take ourselves through the 4-part breath. So there's 4 parts, and a little pause in the middle where we don't breathe, but we do move. So starting at your hara, your dantian. As you breathe in, you lift the energy up towards the sky. As you breathe out, you pull it down, bend your knees as far as you want to go, and push the energy away from you. You fold as you hold the breath towards the earth, wherever you fold. And as you breathe in, you lift it up to the sky. And as you breathe out, you pull it back into your body. Again, breathing in, part 1. Breathing out, pushing away, part 2. Folding, holding, breathing in, lifting, part 3. And part 4, breathing out, drawing that energy into your body. And again, breathing in. Part 2. Hold as you fold. Part 3. In. Part 4. And one more time with your own breath. Drawing your body back to standing. Maybe the feet slightly closer together or a little further away, and observing your body. Checking in. What do I notice? What do I find? And as you observe the body, do I feel that contact through my feet? Contact with the earth? Do I feel a softening in my knees, perhaps? They're not locked. Can I place my pelvis comfortably in the center, above my ankles? So there's a sense that there's some heel behind you, just as there are feet and toes in front of you. Can I feel my arms allowing to drop from my shoulders as my shoulder girdle is centered comfortably? That there's perhaps finding that center, a sense of a little tone in the lower abdominals. And then my head, neck, how is that? Am I able to experience a sense of extension up through the base of my skull? And possibly if I need it, there's a tendency to round or roll forwards, that my head slides backwards, shifts back behind my neck, without straining the throat or lifting the chin, just straight back. And breath is flowing. And when you push your head back, does that tighten up your front of your legs? Does that make your quads want to grip? Can you soften those knees and feel those knees are bounceable? They could bounce those knees up and down. And you get a little bit of, not straightening and bending so much as lifting the kneecaps and dropping them. And if the rigidity is through the thighs, that may be tricky. So a gentle extension through the side of the body now. If you're happy to, you can stay with your feet closer together. If you find you better balanced, feet can go slightly apart, a little bit wider than hip width. Then you might be happy to send your right hand up towards the sky and feel a little lengthening through that side as you gently reach towards the ceiling or the sky. And then you could lean yourself over. Take that arm over your head. If that's uncomfortable, have that hand resting on your head perhaps, so the elbow lifts you. Extending and breathing. Let the breath flow into those right ribs. If you had a balloon underneath your ribs, between your armpit and your waist. Inflate, deflate. On the next inhalation, inflation, bring it back up. And as you breathe out, let that elbow bend and release the arm. Checking in, noticing the two sides. Have you locked the legs again? Stretching the left arm up when you're ready. And then taking yourself over gently, wherever your body will go. And you can take your hand and stretch your elbow up if you prefer, or have the arm down. Am I breathing? Can I imagine that balloon, if it helps, behind my ribs, inflating and deflating? Can I engage the outside edge of my left foot to lean away from, perhaps? And then on the next inhale, bring yourself back. And as you breathe out, release that arm and flow back into your center. Where am I? How do I feel? Bring your awareness a moment to the back of your body. Can I experience the back of my head, back of my shoulders, pelvis, heels? Can I imagine them lying on the floor? And if I've got the back of my arms, where would I put my arms on the floor? So the back of your shoulder arm would run down the elbow edge of your arm would be the back of your arm. So if you're on the ground resting the backs of the arms, your palms would be facing forward in this instance, something like that. And if your arms are in, does that bring your shoulders forward? So if we were lying on the floor, the shoulders would be lifting up off the earth. Where would I need to take those arms in order that my shoulders and shoulder blades could drop comfortably into the earth? And my head is still comfortably aligned on my spine. And have I gripped the earth through my toes or knees or thighs? Could I now stand in my feet? And then let your arms drop wherever they want to go to, into their natural, comfortable position. We're going to take some practices now where we begin lying flat on the floor, lying on our backs. And obviously, if that's uncomfortable for your lower back, you could begin with your feet on the floor. But if you're able to lie completely flat, if you need a little support for your head, because if you lie on the floor with your head, your chin lifts up, put a folded blanket or something underneath your head, and come to lie down on your mat. Whatever position works for you, lying as straight as you can, but supporting your back if you do need to. So as you bring yourself to lie in what we could call Shavasana, remembering that Shavasana is translated often as corpse, as in a corpse pose, corpse being body rather than a dead body. So it's the full body pose, in fact, it's just everything letting go. Now, is my head supported appropriately? Can I allow those shoulder blades to drop towards the floor? Do I need to open my arms a little bit, let the backs of the hands rest and the upper arms rest further away? And as you rest there for a moment, you may choose to close your eyes. Take yourself through a body scan. So this is an awareness practice, often used in mindfulness. So you might want to start at your toes and acknowledge the space between your toes, the soles of your feet, the heels. So an awareness practice isn't moving. Awareness is literally just taking your mind there and noticing. What do I notice? What do I feel? Can I be in my ankles? Can I experience my shins and calves? And as I do that, what do I notice? My knees, backs of the knees. What sensations are going on there? What contact do I feel between the back of my lower legs and the floor? Between my feet and the floor? Then drawing your awareness into your thighs. They're three-dimensional and there's things going on inside them. What do I notice? Tops of the legs. Back of the pelvis, sides of the pelvis, front of the pelvis, inside the pelvis. And what you need, notice around the middle of the body, back of the waist, above the pelvis, abdomen, sides of the body, midriff, and your chest. Noticing your ribs. The ones resting on the floor, the ones at the side, the ones on the top, joining onto your breastbone. And any sensations noticing inside your chest, your abdomen. Then moving up into your shoulders, collarbones, the back of your shoulders, tops of the shoulders. What do we notice? What do you notice? What do you find? And your arms. Are the backs of my arms resting on the floor? Is that comfortable? What's going on in my elbows, wrists, hands, palms, fingers, thumbs, in the forearm, in the upper arm, in the armpit. You can draw your awareness to your neck and your throat. Sides of the neck, back of the neck, up into the base of the skull, over the crown of the head, aware of your skull, your hair, muscles on your scalp, your ears, muscles around your ears. The forehead, brow, eyebrows, nose, eye sockets, eyes in the eye sockets, eyelids resting, cheeks resting on the cheekbones, lips lightly touching, And then your jaws, with your teeth resting in your gums. Your jaws below your ears. Can they let go? Do they help your breathing? So now your whole body. What do I notice? And then when you're ready, in your own time, take a deep breath in and sigh that breath away. And we're going to gently, comfortably, safely, quietly roll ourselves over and come up onto all fours. And of course, if you do need a little bit of padding for your knees, you might find it helpful to have a blanket. On that note, if your discomfort is right in the front edge of the knee, then it may be better, rather than putting the padding underneath your knee cap, as it were, having the padding under your shins so that your knees are actually off and they're more floating towards the earth and pressing into it. So coming onto all fours and dropping your knees from your hips and your hands in the right position underneath. So your wrists underneath your armpits, head looking straight down and extending gently through tail and crown of the head. So from here, what we're going to do is simply very, very softly shift the body weight forwards and backwards. That's all we're doing. We're not lifting, we're not moving the spine, except the fact that we're moving our pelvis and shoulders forwards and backwards. So as you move the body slightly forwards, breathe in. As you go backwards, breathe out. Noticing as you do this, what are the sensations in my body? Forward, breathe in. Back, breathe out. It's very subtle. It's not big. Keep it subtle and soft. But do move. Do move. If your wrists are giving you issues, use more of your finger weight pressing down from the pads of your hands under the knuckles through to fingertips. And then pausing there for a moment, taking stock. And we're going to begin our cat-cow. So when you feel ready, you can press down lightly through your hands, your shins, your ankles, and as you breathe out, round your back, tucking your chin down and your tail down. When you're ready, as you breathe in, you might imagine your hands moving towards your knees and your knees moving towards your hands without doing it, and lengthening through the front of the spine. As you breathe out, press down into the earth, rebound up with the navel, head down, tail down. Breathing in, lengthening through the front of the body, shoulders sliding away from ears. Breathing out, pressing down, pulling the navel, the shoulders will roll towards the ears. And as you breathe out, sending your body in the opposite direction, lightly opening freely. One more time in each direction. So when you've ended with your opening, come back to neutral and pause, looking down. And then return to your shifting forwards and backwards. Inhale forwards, exhale backwards. Inhale forwards, exhale backwards. Do you notice any difference about the way in which you're shifting? Anything changed? And then when you feel ready, safely, carefully roll yourself over back onto your spine into Shavasana. Come to rest, just as you were just now. And as you rest there, you can repeat the scan for yourself. So get yourself settled. Use something under your head as you require. Lying down on your back. Backs of the arms resting. Legs apart if you wish, slightly. Head supported. Back of the neck long. Throat relaxed. As you always do. And let go. Let your breath flow. What do I notice? So you might want to start from your feet and just travel lightly through your body, checking in and experiencing whatever comes. And then when you're ready, take a comfortable deep breath in, sigh the breath away, and then roll yourself gently over and up, returning to all fours. So obviously if you need any support for your wrists, you will use it. I talked about supporting the knees last time. So this time, if you find you need support for your wrists, you can use a blanket or a small cushion and have your wrists slightly higher and your fingers off it to work. If that's necessary for you, you do that. If it's not necessary, if your wrists are all right, you can be flat back in your all fours position. So here, what we're going to do is we're going to take a slightly longer stretch. And you may find that as you do this, you don't go all the way the first time. If you'd like to watch first, if that helps, you can do. So from all fours, what we're going to do is we're going to slide the left leg. So we're going to the right first. Now slide the left leg backwards, gently sweeping away until our right hip might drop to the floor and the head towards the knee. And then we have to use our energy to lift ourselves back up and pull that knee back into position. Okay, so you're going to have a go. As you breathe out, slide that leg. Now, you may not get all the way to the floor. You might just get to elbows and that hip won't touch. That's okay. And then press down through the right leg to bring you back. Breathe out, slide away. And you may go further as you repeat. And you may find more strength to pull you back. So I'll do it the other way. Might be clearer. As you breathe out, you slide that leg around till you can drop onto your hip. You may not get there, and you breathe in and lift yourself back. You breathe out, slide and sink. You breathe in, pull yourself back to all fours. I'm doing that 5 times on each side. Effort, integration of breath and movement. Noticing how much effort it takes. And maybe it takes a little less effort to come back by the time you get to number 5. And when you've repeated it 5 times on each side, roll yourself over onto your back and let go. Use your padding under your head. Observe your breath, your heart rate, and the sensations as you take yourself through your body scan. Notice if you're holding any additional tension in any parts as you travel. Perhaps you've let go of some tension in areas as you moved and flowed. Perhaps that action increased a little tension some places. And then when you feel ready, rolling yourself over. You can take a deep breath in first and then move. And coming up gradually to sit. We're going to bend our right leg, the legs out in straight, bend the right leg and bring the right leg across the left. So we're holding the right ankle with the left hand and the right knee with the right hand. Yeah, you got that? So we're going to slide the right hand and left hand, holding on to the ankle and knee towards the body. So the right heel will move towards the hip and the right shoulder, knee will move towards the right shoulder. And then we slide the foot back a little bit. Breathe in, pull knee and ankle, keep the foot on the floor. Breathe out, slide it away. Continue, 2 more. Now on the next round, we're going to pull it in, and this time we're going to aim the right knee towards the left shoulder. You're going to still slide, but you're going to slightly increase the stretch on the outside. Don't strain, slide it away a little bit. Breathe in, pull, cross, release. Only going as far as it goes. It's intention to send that leg across. Some people may get it further than others. No strain. Breathe out. As you go away, breathe in, breathe out. In, breathe out. And then we're going to take it breathing in, pull towards the right shoulder, slide it away. Breathe in, pull it towards the left shoulder. Breathe out. Breathe in to one side. Breathe out across slightly. You may not go very far. One more time. Alternating. And release. Letting go. Notice what you find in the hips, in the body. Now remember, if you can't sit with your legs straight and you need to have the other leg slightly bent, you could, or you could sit on a block or something to lift your pelvis. Let's change sides. Coming the other side, bend the left leg up, working with your own body where you can go to, not making it too difficult. Bring that left foot across, hold that ankle with your right hand and the knee with your left. The other leg is straight, as best as you can. So you might like to breathe out as you slide that foot away a little bit. And as you breathe in, left knee to left shoulder, heel to right hip. In, out. No, out is away. In is to you. In. Not that that's matters. It's whatever works for you. If you find it easier to breathe out and pull in, that's okay too. You may notice my right leg wants to do its own thing and flip over. What's yours doing? Last one, this one. And then we're heading the left knee towards the right shoulder, wherever it goes to. Pull it across. In. I've got carpet here that I'm sliding on, which does make sliding slightly easier. So if you're sticking on the mat, you might want to turn to the side. One more time, cross the body. Then we're alternating left shoulder, then to right shoulder. And then releasing and letting go. And you'll never guess what? Back down onto your back and experiencing what's going on. Letting go. Another chance to assimilate all that you've done. So these rests in between are really important. They are a vital part of this practice. This is a regaining balance practice, especially for the hips and the pelvis and the body. Reintegrating your shoulders, hips, feet, head, neck, I guess as well, because they're all joined up. All part of the same bit. So taking a moment to rest down. You're on your back now, laying out, experiencing what you experience. Taking a little body scan once more, from the feet to the head, and noticing anything you find. What do I find? What do I notice? And growing your awareness is part of our yoga practice. And practicing, doing our yoga practice, enables us to become more aware. So the more we practice, the more we are able to practice, and the more we benefit and gain from our practice. So when you feel ready, you may want to take a deep breath in, sigh the breath away, and then move yourself comfortably, gently, slowly rolling over and coming back onto your all fours. So whatever padding you needed for that or require, find your way back to all fours. And where we've taken ourselves to so far, we're looking at revisiting some of those things we've done. So from our all fours position, and you're already familiar with this, we're going to breathe in and move the body slightly forwards and move out and move the body back. No cat-cow, just body moving in, out. What do we notice about that now? Have the movements changed? Has the flow changed? Has it become any easier? What do I notice? And then from there, we will revisit our sliding leg practice. So from cat-cow, I'm going to take the left leg just to remind you because it's easier to see from the camera. Sliding that leg around, and can I get my hip down to the floor now? Maybe I didn't last time. I'm going to use my strength and pull it back. Can I breathe out and slide it around? Inhale, pull yourself back. 5 times one way, 5 times the other. Sliding it away. Pulling it back. Find your strength and notice whether you're going a little bit further each time as you do this. Feel the smooth flow. Then you might want to alternate sides for the last few, to one side and then to the other. See what that feels like. In, out. Breathe out as you slide away. Breathe in as you pull the body back to center. So what does it feel like when you alternate? Is that good? Are you coming back to square or are you going wherever? Are you seriously back on your cat before you take it over to the other side? And then when you feel ready, return to lying on your back. Observing, experiencing, assimilating. So if we have perhaps some restrictions in the pelvis area, maybe those actions really helped it, free it. What do you notice as you rest now? Allowing your breath to gently come back to its rhythm. What do you notice in your hips, your shoulders, knees, ankles, wrists, elbows, neck, head? In your mind, in your breath, in your emotions. So a body scan when you're lying on your back, flat out, isn't about doing anything. It's about experiencing and developing your awareness. And sometimes we can be a little impatient or want to whiz through things. So part of your practice might be that you take time between asana, the practices are physical, to absorb what happened in that practice. And you slow your practice down by pausing in between each part, or do several and then rest. So you have a short sequence of practices and then you stop. Observe. So in your own time, take a deep breath in. Sigh the breath away. And then carefully roll yourself over and bring yourself back up to stand. We're coming back to where we started, and we're going to notice perhaps anything that's changed. Bringing your awareness to your feet. And then you can do your little body scan, working up your body. Where's my posture? So I've been lying on the floor and I know where my head was, my back shoulders were, my pelvis was, my heels were. Am I in that position? Can I still have a sense of the floor behind me? I'm avoiding lifting my chin too much or pushing my pelvis forward, because if you were standing on the lying on the floor with your pelvis, you'd be lifting your pelvis up off the floor. You'd have your shoulders and your heels. And I don't know if you ever tried that, but it's quite tricky. It takes a lot of effort to do that. So am I standing like that most of the time? Using all that effort to push my pelvis forward, can I bring it back? I find that place of balance. What do I notice about my hips? And you may like to return to our 4-part breath, which takes a little bit of bending at the hips as a way of noticing any changes. So if you're happy to, you could take your feet slightly apart. Bring those hands back to your dantian, your gravity center. Hara. Breathe out. And as you breathe in, gather the energy. As you breathe out, push it away. Fold gently towards the earth. And as you breathe in, lift the energy up. And as you breathe out, draw it back to your center. Repeating that twice more through for yourself. Work with your breath, Ujjayi, if that feels good. You can always take your legs wider apart if you feel that's good for you. If that's what your legs want to do, spread them out and you'll go into a deeper little squat. When you lift the energy up, you might feel inclined to a little back bend before you return. Drawing the legs back in when you've completed, checking once more through the body. And then we're going to come back down to the floor, lying on our backs for a moment before we go into a gentle bridge sequence. Dvipada 2-foot support, but start lying flat if that's comfortable for your back. Once more to assimilate, check in. And check that if you can, that you have room above your head in case you want to take your arms over above. If you do find you can't reach the floor there, you can either just take your arms wherever they go, or you can put a support bolster cushions above where your wrists will end up. And that would give you a bit of support, as if it were the floor. And then you're bringing yourself down to the earth. And you're bending your legs and placing your heels underneath your knees to the best of your ability. And for some, that may require a little wider, maybe with toes turned out, but your knees need to go in line with your ankles. Or you may be fine with them parallel hip width apart. So those heels in front of your sit bones, if that's where they're sitting comfortably for you. Arms alongside the body. And as you breathe out, gently draw your abdominals in and press your lower back into the floor. And as you breathe out, imagine letting your tail drop into the floor. So you're tilting your pelvis lightly towards your thighs. And as you breathe out, drop the back of the waist in towards the floor. So there's a gentle rocking with your breath as you breathe in, a slight lifting of the lower back, and as you breathe out, a slight lengthening of the lower back. And then you might like to experience what happens when you do those actions and lift the pelvis off. Let's begin by pressing the back of the waist into the floor at the same time as the feet, breathing out, and then lift the pelvis as you breathe in. So you lift the body up off the floor, you stay, and then you roll down as you next breathe out, gently letting the back of the waist press into the floor. So where you're in the floor now, breathe in. As you breathe out, push the back of the waist down. On your next in-breath, lift the pelvis and press the shoulders down and the feet down. Breathe out, roll the spine, vertebra by vertebra, back down, focusing on that back of the waist, touching the floor before the tail is released. Pause there, absorbing, noticing. We're going to reverse that. So this time we're going to breathe in and let the pelvis move forward. So we're letting the lower back come off a little bit, pushing the tailbone down. And then we're going to use the breath out to push the floor and lift the pelvis. And the chest coming towards the chin. Stay to breathe in, but moving down as you breathe out. And obviously the back of the waist will come towards the floor before the tail. Breathe in, let the pelvis rock forwards, lifting the lower back off, little arch. Keep that as you breathe out and lift your pelvis. Use the pelvic muscles, the buttocks. Shoulders down. Hold to breathe in, and as you breathe out, rolling the spine between the shoulder blades and all the way down. And pause. So for some, that may have been easier and more comfortable when you press the back of the waist down first. For others, it may have been easier and more comfortable letting the back of the waist lift off. It's all about you, what works for you. So find your feet once more, plant them firmly, and this time we're moving arms. I'll remind you of this sequence of the arms. Let's do the arms on their own first, just to establish it. If you're not sure and you need to look, feel free to look for a moment. As you breathe in, you're going to let both arms lift up to the ceiling, but the right arm is going to continue all the time breathing in. The left arm is going to stay up to the ceiling. As you breathe out, the right arm is coming back, and when it gets level with the left arm, both arms are coming down. Both arms lift as you breathe in, but we'll do the left arm this time. So right arm stays still and left arm continues. As you breathe out, bring the arm back and both arms end up coming together. So that's the principle of the arms. And if you can coordinate that, we're going to take just the right arm continuing first, 4 times, and then the left arm. We're lifting off with the body as well. So decide how you want to lift your body, but we're going to lift on an inhale. All right, so whether you press the back of the waist to the end of your exhale first or not, entirely up to you, or you can tilt pelvis and then lift. So ready? Breathing in, lift arms and body, right arm continues over your head. When you're ready, as you breathe out, bring the arm back level with the other and then begin to lower the body and arms. Our body doesn't move down until arms are parallel. Same again, breathing in, lift body and arms, breathing in, arm goes all the way over as you continue to lift the body. As you begin to breathe out, arm only. And then as you continue, arms come down together as the back returns all the time, breathing out. 2 more with the right side, breathing in. Out, right arm starts first, then as the shoulders are parallel, the shoulder blades, lower back, everything drops down. Tuck the chin, back of the neck long. Chest coming to chin, right arm only carrying all the way over.
Breathe out. Join it all together. And little pause, take a breath. Repeat the whole sequence with the left arm continuing all the way. Breathing in, lifting both. Right arm stops, left arm continues. Left arm starts. Both arms continue, back reduces down to the floor. Can you coordinate arms and spine so the pelvis touches same time as fingers? Have your feet and shoulders moved away from each other? Do you need to readjust? Right arm stops, left arm continues. And when you've finished your 4 on that side, pause, take a moment, and we'll take both arms all the way, but the back doesn't come back till the arms are up to the ceiling. 4 times, breathing in, lifting. Breathing out, start the arms, continue them, and then the back joins in. Careful those arms don't get carried away and stopping and then starting. They're flowing freely and the spine joins in once the arms are up to the ceiling. Can the arms be free flowing as the body joins in? And you control the body from the front and the back, finding your strength. And when you've completed, you can stop. And maybe you want to stretch the legs away or bring the legs in, whatever feels right for you. You're making this your last one. And you can hug the knees into the body if you wish, or stretch the legs out and find out what's going on. And then from there, when you're ready, if you would like to, you can have your knees on your chest or the feet on the floor. Let the arms drop out to the sides, somewhere around shoulder height, whatever works for you. And then you can carry your knees over to the right if you have space. And if you want to, they can stay there. If you have more space in with the space you're in, the place you're in, you could extend the left leg so the lower leg is straightened, knees are more or less on top of knees, and that gives you a bit of a stretch across the outside edge of the hip. If you don't have space, you can keep the feet on top of the feet. Now the head can look the opposite way if it feels good for your neck to do that. And you check in with your left shoulder, that your left shoulder blade is down towards the earth. If it isn't, then you might need to prop up underneath your knees in order to achieve the drop of the shoulder, so the shoulders stay level and as flat as they can be, and we only go into the rotation that our body will allow us to do. Letting your body rest there, perhaps closing your eyes and allowing your breath to flow into the left side of your lungs. It'll be in both, but the left side is open, so you may feel you can revisit that balloon on the left ribs. Notice if you have any holding patterns. Are you resisting the body letting go? Perhaps using your breath out to surrender just a little more, safely for you. And when you feel ready, engaging your abdominals lightly, breathe in, lift those knees back to center. Pause there, readjust slightly, make sure you've got anything you need on the other side. If you need to change around, turn your body around because you need more space. You could flip yourself around if you found one side you've got more room than the other. And as you breathe out, carry those knees high as you can up. Drop the shoulder behind you. If you can't get the shoulder to the floor, remember, pad up the knees or between the knees. And then if you choose to extend the leg that's on top, foot out or on the floor, depending what happens to you. And the head can turn in the opposite direction, only if it's comfortable. And stay. Make any little adjustments to be safe. And find your flow. Can my body be in this position and still find a sense of flowing?
There's a sense of letting go in this lying twist. Of not needing to hold on because the earth is beneath you. And if you do need to support, that's when we would support, because we need something to be on. The floor doesn't come to us, we don't go to the floor, we put something in place of the floor so that we can rest. Find your breath. Can you invite that breath into the open side gently? And then in your own time, when you feel ready, ease your way back. You may like to stretch out or hug in. And then when safely draw yourself back, and if you're ready, come up to sit. Use anything you want to sit comfortably. You might like to use a chair or a bolster again, or a pile of push cushions. How can I get my pelvis beneath my shoulders, beneath my head in an appropriate upright position? So we're looking to find that length through the base of the skull, lifting up away from the back of the neck, the head positioned, the shoulders comfortably open and released. Now you may choose to repeat the Usha mudra we did at the beginning, where we interlace the fingers and open the palms. Or you may choose to do another one, which is about letting go. And this is Apana, begins with Apana mudra, which you may or may not remember. And then you join two fingers. It's Pranidhana mudra, the gesture of surrender. I'm just coming to the... And it takes the thumb to the middle two fingers. This is Apana mudra, this particular gesture with two hands together. But instead of leaving it as Apana, we join those other fingers together. And this is Pranidhana mudra, the gesture of surrender. So you might choose to do Apana, you might choose to do Pranidhana, or you might choose to do Ushas. Whichever one is appropriate for you. at this particular moment that resonates with you. I'm going to take my Pranidhana mudra, the gesture of surrender, and its core quality, is letting go. As I let go of the need to control, my life becomes effortless and flows. So we're looking for that effortless flow, letting go of attachments. And this can support releasing tension from the body. It supports the health of the eliminatory, urinary, and reproductive systems. And it can reduce stress and blood pressure. So if anybody does have low blood pressure, then they may want to restrict the amount of time they spend holding Pranidhana mudra. So please be aware if that is you. If it's not you, and perhaps your tendency is the other way of stressy, high, tight, this might be a gesture that you find useful. The Ushas mudra is good for anybody, so it doesn't have any of those restrictions, if you prefer that one. So closing your eyes, dropping your gaze, drawing your awareness in towards your body, just for a moment, as you've done throughout, checking through a scan. What do I notice? We're looking to let go of attachments, let go and surrender, so that we can find peace. And sometimes our practices of physical body are great. And they can set us up to stay still. And maybe we can begin to develop a meditation practice. So let us focus for a moment on peace. As you contemplate the word peace, simply notice what comes. To quote somebody, Jesus in this case, "Peace I leave with you. My peace I give to you. I do not give as the world gives." What peace is that being talked of? Is it quiet? Solitude? A walk in the country? Can peace be found in noise and the bustle of a city? So peace is used in different ways. So if we consider it perhaps in the way that Jesus was talking, he was saying that peace is, it's not the absence of noise. It's not the absence of conflict. It's not the absence of anything. Rather, that peace is a presence. And the meaning of peace is well-being or completeness. So that resonates very strongly with the ideas of yoga, of unity, of wholeness, completeness, wellness, well-being, an inner state of rest and calm. The presence of peace and security allows us to deal with the checks and balances of everyday life. So we might see peace in terms of presence, of a life-giving quality, peace which can make us question the way things are done, and we are challenged. They could make us look at other things, to ask searching questions about ourselves, questions about our society. And perhaps through the search of inner peace, we may even feel a sense of anger, a desire to restore harmony, beauty, and unity, for justice in our troubled world. So perhaps we can find peace in a noisy, hectic place. We may also seek it out in the calm and quiet of the countryside, where we can feed our soul. Peace can be present anywhere if we allow the gift of peace to help us transform our lives and the lives of those around us. Find the peace of serenity that comes from within and radiates out, changing those it comes into contact with, changing us. You may like to let go of your mudra, your gesture. Be aware of the qualities that it's left you with. And draw your palms together to your heart center in front of your breastbone. And to a moment check in. Does peace reside within me? Can I welcome that sense of peace being a presence? May I be filled with loving kindness. May I be well. May I be peaceful and at ease. May I be happy. Hariom Tat Sat. Namaste. Go in peace.